In this video, we'll write a program that basically teaches subtraction, single digit subtraction. The idea here is that we are going to use the random number generator in C++ to generate two numbers and then form the subtraction of those two numbers and then ask the user what is the result of the subtraction. If the answer the user provides is correct, we'll say wonderful, you did it correct. Otherwise, we'll present the correct result to the user. Again, it's like a teaching tool basically. So the program is right here. I have the compiler directives in there. I also need to # include ctime for the time function that I'm going to call, and also I need to include C standard library. That one has the functions rand and also srand. Alright, now let's declare two variables. That's num1, which is equal to, I'm going to assign to it rand mod 10. What this does, rand will generate a number between 0 and maximum number available in your machine. It is going to be an integer number. Now when I mod it with 10, this will generate a number between 0 and 9. An integer, I should say, between 0 through 9 is generated. Similarly, I'm going to declare int num2, that's the second number, call up the function rand, mod it with 10 so that it will generate an integer between 0 and 9, and we have our two numbers basically. This subtraction tutor that we are creating, we want to create basically subtractions with the result that's positive, right? So we want to always make sure that the first number is larger than the second number. So we're going to do this. If num1 is going to be less than num2, we are going to swap them, right? This process is called swap. I'm going to write the code for it. To swap two numbers, you have to first declare a temporary storage. That's temp, right? I'm going to then, in that temporary storage, I'm going to save num1 and then write over num1 with num2. I'm going to assign num2 to num1, and then num2 is equal to temp. Right? That is called swapping. Here, as I said, we always want the first number to be larger than the second number, right? We want to create the difference num1 minus num2, and we want that difference to be positive. So I would like to ensure that num1 is positive. It's more than num2. So I check the condition. If number 1, the first num, is less than num2, we have to swap those two numbers. So I will declare a temporary location, save num1, the value of num1 in that temporary location, then move num2 into num1. Num2 is larger, right? I'm going to move it to num1, and then place in num2 the temporary location temp, which now holds num1. So in this case, we've swapped the two numbers basically. Now I can present the difference to the user. See out the value of the subtraction, and then we'll write it down basically. Num1 minus num2 is, and then end line. So we present this to the user, num1 minus num2 is, and we need to be able to read it. I'm going to declare an integer answer and then read the result in answer. So we have received the input from the user, and now I check whether the answer is correct. If num1 minus num2, if that is really equal to the answer that's given, you would write out cout correct. A brief message basically, end line. Else you are going to cout incorrect. The correct answer is num1 minus num2. Let me clean this up. You need an insertion operator and end line. That's it. So system pause. Return 0. All set. We can run this. Let me also select this application, quiz, subtraction quiz. It is set up as the application. We'll run it. Okay. The value of the subtraction 7 minus 1, again, two random numbers were generated, 7 and 1 apparently. The value of the subtraction 7 minus 1 is equal to, let's say, 3. It comes out and says the correct answer is 6. It should say incorrect, the correct answer is 6. So let's just clean it up. Cout wrong, then the correct answer is so and so. So we'll run it one more time. Now notice that every time I run it, 7 and 1 comes about, right? So this time around, let's actually say 6, correct, and it's done, right? Every time I run this program, the same numbers are generated. Again, 7 and 1 is generated. So how can we fix this so that every time we run the program, a different set of numbers are generated? And that's where srand comes to help. Srand and the time function. What you need to do right at the beginning of your program, type srand and time 0. That basically, this srand generates an integer seed that is used to generate the random numbers. So every time, and the seed that it is using is current time in seconds. So every time you run your program, a different time is generated, right? The current time has changed. It uses that current time, that seed, to start generating random numbers. If you don't put this, the seed will be always the same every time you run the program. So more time, let me try this. And this time around, we'll come up with 9 minus 2. Well, let's put 3 in there. Wrong. The answer is 7. Okay.